All right, y'all, so in this lesson, we're talking about the area and perimeter of a rectangle. So first thing we want to think about is, what is a rectangle? Well, it is a four-sided figure that has 90-degree angles. The opposite sides are both parallel and equal, okay? Are equal, okay? The measurements are equal. We're going to call one side the base, and the adjacent side, which is the one right next to it, the height, okay? Opposite sides are equal, which means this would also be height, and this top one would be a base. So we're going to talk about area and perimeter. We're going to start with area, which is two-dimensional, and all we're going to do for area of rectangle is take base times height. Our answer is going to be in square units or units squared because it is two-dimensional. Okay, when we get to volume here soon, we will talk about 3 dimensions, and we will put a little 3 there instead of a 2. Now for perimeter, we are dealing with adding up all the sides because perimeter is the entire distance around a figure. So I'm going to add up the base with the height with the base with the height, because remember the opposite sides here would be height and base as well. Another way of looking at it is side plus side plus side plus side. This is an S, not a 5, because it's for side. Okay, we're adding all 4 sides up. And that will be helpful when we look at other types of figures as well. Perimeter is just adding up all of our sides. Now when we're talking about area and perimeter of a triangle, same concept. I do want to point out that a triangle has 3 sides. And when we are talking about perimeter, I'm going to start with perimeter for this one. We'll come back to area here in a second. Perimeter is, as I just said before, all the sides being added up. So side plus side plus side, because there's only 3 sides in a triangle. For area, I need base and height again. But the base and height must be perpendicular. Must be perpendicular. In other words, they need to be 90 degrees. Okay, so you see here we have a 90-degree intersection. This would be our base, and this would be our height right here. Okay, so I'm going to label that height, and this base. Really common error is to forget this last component of our area formula, which is to divide by 2 when we're dealing with triangles. So it would be base times height divided by 2. Okay? Let's practice. So I have this rectangle here. I'm going to start with my perimeter, and I will move on to area. Perimeter is equal to the sides all added up. So 7 plus 12 plus 7 plus 12. Or 7 plus 7 plus 12 plus 12. However you want to organize it, because it's addition, so it doesn't make a difference. Oops, that was weird. But anyway, 7 plus 12 is 19 plus 19, which is equal to 38 centimeters. Okay? Now for area, we're just taking base times height. So we have 12 as our base and 7 as our height. So 7 times 12 will give us 84. And because this is area, we have centimeters squared. We don't do square for our perimeter because it is not two-dimensional, it's one-dimensional. For our triangle practice, we're going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to start with perimeter again. Perimeter here is the outside, so I want to point out the outside components here. That 7 is not actually relevant to our perimeter. It's important, but it doesn't help us with perimeter. So I'm just looking at the 9, the 13, and the 18, because those are the outside sides of the triangle. So 9 plus 13 plus 18 gives me 40 inches. For my area, I need base times height divided by 2. Always remember that divided by 2. It's a really common error, okay? So I need to know a perpendicular intersection. 9 and 13 are not perpendicular. This angle right here is perpendicular to the bottom, which is 18. It's not always going to be a bottom and middle kind of thing, but make sure you have that 90-degree intersection. Okay, so I have 7 times 18. 7 times 18 divided by 2. Now 7 times 18 is a really large number, and I'm not using a calculator right this second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 18 divided by 2 before I multiply it by 7. So I'm going to multiply this by 7. 18 divided by 2 is 9. I'm only dividing by 2 one time. I don't have multiple divisions of 2. Okay, so it's just 9 times 7 for my answer, which is 63 inches squared, or square inches, however you want to say it. Okay? We have a couple U-tries. They are on your paper. Go ahead and find the area and perimeter of both the rectangle and the triangle. And then remember to continue the video. There's more to it. In this example here, we have Pete wanting to build a fence around his garden and cover it with fresh soil. The dimensions of the garden will be 6 feet by 9 feet. Strongly recommend that you draw a picture whenever you are dealing with word problems so you can visualize what's happening. 6 feet by 9 feet, this is a rectangle. So the first question is, how much fencing will he need? Well, fencing is actually a synonym for perimeter. So, since it's a synonym for perimeter, I'm going to find the perimeter to figure out the amount of fencing. So the perimeter is going to be 2 6s and 2 9s. I have 6 plus 9. And remember, opposite sides are congruent, so I have also 6 plus 9. Total, that's 15 plus 15. And I get 30 feet of fencing. How much soil will he need? Well, the soil is the area, right? Because I'm covering the entire space in here with soil, okay? So to find my area, I'm going to multiply my base times my height. In other words, 9 times 6. And I get 54 square feet of soil. Side note, you don't have to write this down, but it's good to know. Feet and square feet are not the same unit. And what I mean by that is, for example, meters and feet are not equal. We have to use a conversion rate to be able to work with them together. And feet and square feet require a conversion to be able to work together. So please keep in mind that you should be making sure to note things correctly. This could also be written as feet squared. But if you do not note your units correctly, then you might make a mistake because you might be working with incorrect or incompatible units. Okay? So this one is a U-try. Give it a shot. Make sure you read carefully for what each thing is looking for. Okay? Area or perimeter. Keep in mind what your information is being provided for you. Feel free to underline and circle things. Give it a shot. Get it checked by Mrs. Jackson. And then remember to continue the video. There are a couple more problems to try. All right, in this example, we have what is called a composite figure or compound figure. Compound, or composite. Okay, figure. And what that means is it's a figure that is made up of 2 or more shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into smaller chunks. I'm going to find the area of each, and then I'm going to add it all up so I see what the area is total. So I'm going to start with my rectangle, and if you look here, I have 9 by 11 for my rectangle. So my area of my rectangle is equal to base times height, 9 times 11, which is, of course, 99 meters squared. Okay? Now the area of my triangle, remember that's base times height divided by 2. But to find the area of my triangle in this case, I have kind of a weird situation. I need to use some other information here. The 14, while it is part of the triangle, is really not important or relevant to this problem. It would be important for perimeter. But remember, for triangles, I need base and height to be perpendicular. So for them to be perpendicular, I need this information and this information down here on the right. Rectangles have the same length across, so if it's 11 on the left side, that means 11 is the height of my triangle. Now on the bottom it says 20, because the entire way across is 20. So I'm going to look here. My rectangle is 9 in this bottom section. So 9 plus what equals 20? Well, that would give me 11 as well. 9 plus 11 gives me 20. So the part of my triangle that's over here would also be 11. It's 121 over 2, which gives me 60.5 feet squared. Sorry, meters squared. I apologize. Meters squared. Okay. Now, I'm not 100% done yet, though, because I want to know what it is all together, not just each individual. So I'm going to add those two up, and my answer is going to be 159 and 5/10 meters squared. Okay. All right, last try for you. Give this a shot. Make sure you are adding or multiplying and combining your pieces and parts. Have fun.